What's up, everybody? It's Shadow Ninja here. Welcome back to Rage Quit. Today we are talking about Space Marine 2 again because a new update just dropped a couple days ago, giving us a new operation as well as a new difficulty mode, along with some cosmetics that go along with those two things, and some balance changes, some tweaks to the AI, and that sort of thing. And I just want to say, as far as the operation goes, I absolutely love it so far. I haven't completed it yet. I was trying to get some lethal difficulty gameplay for you guys, and honestly, I couldn't do it by myself. It is extremely, extremely difficult, and that's sort of the thing that I want to talk about with you guys today. I know I've seen across the internet some players, or most players, are definitely not happy about the changes that they made to this game, including some of the nerfs and stuff like that, but most importantly, how lethal difficulty actually works. Now, if you guys don't know, maybe a few updates ago, the devs came out with an update basically making the enemy types a lot easier to deal with, and some players were not happy about that, saying that the game was too easy, but then other players were saying, wait, a new difficulty mode is going to be coming out soon, so let's just wait until that comes out and see what happens there. And it seems that the devs just kind of overkilled it with lethal difficulty, it seems like. If you guys haven't played yet, let me just tell you, it is exactly like Ruthless difficulty, but there is a twist. Now there is a cohesion mechanic, which basically means that you can't get armor back unless you are within a certain radius of your teammates. And while that could be fun, a nice little modifier, it definitely does not feel fun, especially for certain classes. Classes like the sniper, or the guy with the jetpack, or the guy with the grappling gun. I'm not really sure what those guys' names are, but those classes specifically are suffering a lot in this game mode, specifically because their playstyles revolve around constant movement, swinging around the battlefield, flying high up in the air, flanking enemies, that sort of thing. And now they are kind of forced to just sit by their teammates at all times, and it gets a little awkward because sometimes teammates will step on each other's toes, get in front of each other in each other's line of fire, and sometimes certain squads of players just won't move. They're too afraid to move away from their teammates because they want their armor back. It causes situations where groups are going to be just stuck in one area, not wanting to move the whole time, as enemies are just going to be swarming and swarming their location, and the objective's not getting done, and the enemies will just keep spawning, and there's a high rate of extremist spawn rates. Sometimes there can be 2 or 3 extremist units at the same time, and it gets very clustered up, and it doesn't feel great. And this mechanic is also kind of useless when all of your teammates are dead. They give you this last brother standing message on your screen. It's supposed to be really cool, like, you're the last one left, finish the mission type deal. And you can't get your armor back, obviously, because if there's no teammates to fall back on and regain your armor, then guess what? You're just not going to regain your armor at all, and you're just going to die, because in this game mode as well, you take very high damage, especially since Space Marines are squishy already without their armor. If you couldn't tell, especially for solo queue players like me, this is not the optimal way to play at all. Especially since most players with their preferred characters, they're already going to be max level, and there really is no incentive to complete these missions unless you want the certain weapon skins that they give you, or the helmet that they give you, which looks pretty cool. But other than that, honestly, you're not really playing for anything. You could easily just play Ruthless for almost the same amount of rewards. You don't get like a new type of armory point or anything that could further lead to different upgrades. It just kind of feels like extra challenge. Don't get me wrong, I love challenging games. I have played so many, and I don't really have problem with difficulty, but I have problem with artificial difficulty. Factors placed to just make the game seem more bullshit and more unfair rather than challenging. This game mode kind of shows the cracks within the game's actual functionality, with the parry function being all wonky, certain enemies just being complete bullet sponges, the lack of iframes while doing certain things that you should be able to get iframes from, but you just don't, and you get absolutely smothered. You can parry an attack and parry it right, but you don't really get any iframes, so if 2 enemies are kind of attacking you at the same time, or just slightly off by like maybe a second or two, you will still get hit by an attack, and that is very frustrating. It seems that now certain playstyles are forced onto you. Bulwark is completely mandatory now in these types of modes, and when I played as my heavy class, I was just not getting anything done with my minigun, my heavy bolter, you know, the gun that is supposed to just spit lead and just shred through Terminids. It doesn't really do much. It feels like all of these upgrades that you spent so long trying to get, they don't really mean anything, because now you are just as weak as you were when you were on level 1. It's not all doom and gloom though, because there are some good things with this update. I believe they were implementing this update. We got a new arena mechanic for Marines that want to test their metal in 1v1 battle while waiting in the battle barge. I think is really cool. I did that with one of my friends. It was a blast. And for someone who doesn't play PvP, it was a great taste as to what PvP was, or what PvP could be. You also get a lot more XP for completing missions, but as a trade-off, the missions are a lot longer now. It seems that when you're playing multiplayer, there's a lot more enemy encounters, a lot more enemy waves. I like it that now when an enemy wave is about to happen, they give you like an auditory warning. It's super badass, like a blaring horn in your ear. It like to kind of prep you. It's about to happen. Let's go. That's really cool as well. But like I said, a lot more enemy encounters around every corner. I actually really like some of these changes because now there's not a whole lot of downtime where you're just kind of walking. You're going to be constantly fighting no matter what you're doing. And that's great. I like more combat. I like more engaging with the enemy and not just walking from here to there to A to B. You know, that can get boring too. But guys, it's not going to end here, obviously, because next year they came out with their trailer releasing this new operation, but in that same trailer, they said that they're coming out with a lot more next year, a lot more stuff for PvP and PvE alike. And who knows, maybe they'll hunker down and listen to the fans that are saying, no, we're not really feeling these changes, especially for lethal, and they'll kind of work around it. It's not exactly like a Helldiver situation where they nerfed everything into the ground and playing the game isn't really fun anymore. It still definitely is, but it's a little harder, and it kind of blurs the line between challenging and way too overly difficult, at least on the most difficult setting that could possibly be. I think this is going to do it for me. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this update. If you've played so far, let me know what you think. Is it too hard? Do you still think the game is too easy? That sort of thing. And let me know what class you guys like to play below in the comments, because I'm running into a lot of heavies, man. I cannot play heavy to save my life in public. This is going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Shadow Ninja going to be signing off for you guys real quick, and I will see you on the next one.